Okay, I think this is it. I think we're live. Here comes another participant. Let's let her in. Surprise! Could you see who it was? Could everybody see who was in the waiting room, or just me?
No.
Just you.
Keep surprising you. That's good.
But you said it was Ty, so.
It's Tyler. Okay, so let me just. We're live on Facebook. Let me get my bearings. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to the cast. Welcome to Miss Stacy, our amazing choreographer. Welcome to Miss Bridget, our amazing music director. We have Shay and Devon and James and Tyler, who we can't see yet. Here comes Alexa. Pretty amazing. So here we are with the cast. We thought that in the absence of a summer musical this year, our first year that we haven't had one since Rent 8 years ago, that we would talk to the cast of this amazing production that happened in 2012. Tonight would have been closing night 8 years ago, and kind of see what everybody was up to. This is exciting. It's nice to see everybody's faces. We don't get to see each other all the time, most of us. So I want to introduce myself. My name is Hallie Donner. I'm the executive director of Alumni Theater Company, and I was the director of Rent so many years ago. And we are really pleased to have you guys joining for this reunion. If you have questions or comments, please just put them in the comment section, and we will relay them to the cast. So Rent ran only for 3 days. Doesn't it seem like it was such an experience that how could it only have been 3 days? First of all, why are we doing shows for 3 days?
Right.
All that work, we do it for 3 days. But it costs a lot of money to do shows, so 3 days it was. But I think in those 3 days, we really made an impact on the people who had an opportunity to see it. And I know that it was the dawn of a new era for ATC for sure. It was a really huge step for us. It was our first summer musical. We had done The Wiz as our opening show, but then it was like 4 years till we did another big show like that. And Rent was like a whole other level. So tonight we're going to have an opportunity to catch up with each of the cast members. There's still people rolling in. We heard Shamari was in line at the grocery store. We'll have to ask him what he bought. And a few other people are running late, so they'll be rolling in as we go. I guess Tyler had an issue because she left, but hopefully she'll be back. Okay, so we are going to kind of catch up with each one of you for a second. We can just hear what you've been up to. You know, all of you 8 years ago were children, and now you're not children. Now you're adults, which seems really amazing to me, who was already old when we did Rent. But it's, you know, it's been a pleasure to watch your journeys, and I think that a lot of people watching knew you as performers as kids. So, you know, we're children. Sorry. And now you're not. Is that me?
That was you. That was my fault.
It was your fault? Oh. Here comes another person. Let's just have this little reunion. It's Brandon Briscoe.
What's good, Brandon?
Hi, Brandon. Brandon looking completely like an adult. Welcome, Brandon. It's really good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We were just saying we were going to start by hearing from each one of you. Oh, I have a few pictures of this production. Let me share the screen just to kind of get us in the mood. Here's our full stage. What was this? This is Seasons of Love. Oh, look how beautiful it is. And look at the set, a table, which was perfect for us. Who needed anything else in this theater? And another, hold on, this is going to take a second to advance. Tyler's trying again. It won't let me move.
Back in the day where we just let the set be the stage.
Hey, I'm all for that. You know, I'm all about the blocks, the minimal set. It won't let me advance to the next picture, which is making me sad because I practiced and everything. So let me stop sharing this for a second because I feel like some people came in. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Tyler. We still can't see you, but can we hear you?
Yeah, I don't know why my video's not working.
I don't know either, but at least you're here.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
Okay, so we're going to take a minute to catch up with everybody, and my pictures are not working the way that I want, but I'm going to.
This picture is awesome, so you're good there.
I mean, it was a good first picture, but I was going to put a picture of everybody right before we talk to them, and if I have to keep, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to do it once anyway. Ooh, we have another visitor. I'm
going to try and use my phone instead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Lynn. What's up, Curry?
Hey.
Michael!
What's up,
What's going on, Michael?
Oh.
There he is.
Sorry.
Hi, Mike. So glad you're here. It's so nice to see your face. Thanks for representing with the hoodie. You need a new hoodie.
I know. I'm stuck in Data 2012, right?
You got OG though. You got the OG swag though.
Okay.
There she is. There's Tyler. All right.
Tyler.
So let's start with Devon. There's a picture. It makes me so happy even just looking at the costume. Like, this was just such an amazing experience. So Devon, if you would, and I'm going to put this on speaker view so people can see you a little bit closer. But now we're looking at Shay for some reason. You're probably looking at me. Devon, there you are. If you could tell everybody, here's what I want everybody when we get to you. This is just the beginning, by the way. I have many hard-hitting questions. Major life events since Rent, and what you were doing before COVID-19 hit, and what life is like now that we are in the middle of this pandemic, and anything big that you know is on the horizon. And while you're talking, I'm gonna put that in the chat so that way people can review those questions. All right,
yeah, totally. Yeah, good to see everybody. Major life event, I probably would say I live in Las Vegas now, which is, you know, I've lived in a couple different places, as everyone has known, but that's probably been the major life event. Before COVID, I started working for Burberry in a consultant position, and essentially that's kind of rolled over into working from home, and so it's just sort of been just adjusting to that and kind of getting used to the difference and the freedom of that in a weird way, but also with everything else that's been going on in the world. And yeah, was there a third question, or did I hit them all? Like
any changes coming up in the near future that you know of?
I haven't. I'll be having an app that'll be coming out. That's probably the big thing on the horizon that I can say. Yeah, definitely.
What kind of app? Can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, it's actually a theater-based app. I'm sure I've talked to people in different ways about this idea, and so yeah, it's called Open Stage. It'll be a way for people to essentially just interact with theater news, theater influencers, different things like that. So just kind of creating a platform during this time, especially as post-COVID things in theater will be certainly different. So I'm hoping this will play a part in that. So
that's great. It's a good time to think of some new innovation in theater for sure. Okay, thank you, Devon. Let's move on to Brandon Briscoe. Brandon, you can go ahead and start telling us what's up with you. I'm going to put a picture of you up here, but you don't have to wait.
Oh, okay. I kind of want to see the picture. The first question was what's new with me. Major life events. Well, I'm lived in Washington DC for about 3 years now. I've moved after I graduated. I work in higher education currently for university. Currently in grad school right now for the University of Maryland, Fuller campus, doing my master's, my MBA. currently. I'm recovering from an injury. I tore my Achilles in March. That's been a journey. Literally, I tore it a couple of days before the pandemic permeated across the globe. I currently moderate a book club for a rapper. People are familiar with No Name. I moderate her book club here in DC.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just pretty dope. Before COVID, it's just really just working in school.
You're in admissions?
Yeah, I work in enrollment. So I work with like prospective students mostly. That's what like my field.
What are you going to do in the fall? Are you still?
Oh, so we're not returning in the fall, so we're going to be working from home for the rest of the year. I mean, it's kind of like a silver lining because I was already working from home anyway because of my injury, so I'm like used to being
right
anyway. So yeah, but we're planning to work from home for the rest of the year until COVID is no longer a hotspot in DC, which is now still tentative. Major life events on the horizon. Well, I'll graduate grad school in May, so that's like the biggest thing I'll be looking forward to. And I'm potentially I'm in the process of moving too, so I'll be moving to another part of DC, like further into the city, like downtown area. So that's like
cool. That's awesome. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Why don't we go to Shay?
Hey, everybody. So since Brent graduated high school, obviously, went to Point Park and graduated with a bachelor's degree in arts management. And then I started working for ATC professionally. So I am now the programming coordinator for ATC. Before COVID, we were working on setting up season 13 and we had to readjust everything. So that's fun. And now we're getting back into the hang of learning how to operate under the restrictions of the pandemic, limiting the number of people in our space, things like that. Things in the horizon, well, in December through March, I was working on writing my own musical. And that process is continuously happening for me in my independent time. So I'm hoping that within the next year, I'll be doing something else with that. But yeah.
It's a really great musical. It's so funny. And it's like when I heard the songs, I was like, that's a real musical. So that's really exciting. Thank you, Shay. Let's hear from Tyler, who I haven't seen in a little while.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
So stuff that's been happening, major events. Also graduated from high school. I also just graduated from Pitt with my bachelor's in visual and performing arts. My concentration was music. So studying works classically and art history along with theater history as well, being a concentration. What have I been doing before COVID? Working and finishing up my degree. I finished up in May. So yeah, I'm still working right now, trying to stay out the way, other people, but, spending more time with my family, which is awesome. Being away from home for 4 years was kind of rough, but I'm glad that I'm back here now. Stuff for the future. I actually plan on starting my own voice lessons online, and I'm going to be catering that to 5 through 10-year-olds, because I believe, starting them that young, just as young as I started singing in the choir when I was 5, is pretty crucial in, keeping the arts alive. So that will be up and coming pretty soon. So you guys want to see advertising for that.
Stay tuned. I highly recommend her. everybody who's watching. Thanks, Tyler. Congratulations on your graduation. It's
Thanks.
nice to see your lovely face. Let's go to Michael Curry. Let's hear what you've been up to.
Hello, everyone. Since Rent, I graduated college, graduated from Morehouse in 2016. Then after 2 months working with ATC that summer, moved out here to California. I started in Berkeley, California. I did a year fellowship at the Berkeley Repertory Theater where I was their education fellow. And after that year, expected to move back to the East Coast and maybe hit New York and start hitting the pavement working. But then I got cast in a show, Black Odyssey, out here at California Shakespeare Theater. And since then, I've been blessed to be working around the Bay Area. I moved to Oakland, California in 2017, and I've been here, in the Bay since 2016, just working, doing teaching gigs around here. And this past winter, I auditioned for graduate school programs, and I got accepted to the University of Connecticut's Master of Fine Arts in Acting program, which I'll be attending in the fall. But, since Corona decided to mollywop everybody, I'll be doing online. So I'll actually be moving back to Pittsburgh August 10th, and I will be in Pittsburgh for the fall, which is why this place around me looks a mess because I'm moving out of my place on Saturday. So those are the biggest life events that have occurred and things that are coming up. When COVID started, right before COVID started, I was understudying a production of Tony Stone at American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. And that show centers the first woman to play in the major leagues, in the Negro leagues, my apologies. And it was so excited because it was gonna be a really dope show. And it was literally we opened, right after the show, they told us, hey, we got the mandate that we can't have more than 200 people in a space together. So we'll play through the rest of the weekend and then we have to close. And then we woke up the next day after opening. They were like, yeah, we got to close immediately. And it was like, well, dang, what is going on? So that's what was going on before. Now I'm trying to stay sane and move my life back to the East Coast.
How are you going to get all your stuff there? Are you driving?
So in truth, I really only have 3 boxes that I have to ship. My mom is watching, so I'm actually shipping those on Friday. Love you so much. Then I have 2 suitcases I'm taking full of clothes. So it's not really that much. It looks a lot because I still have a lot to get rid of, but we make it moves.
All right. Well, we will be happy to have you back. I know it wasn't what you were planning, but that's all right.
You roll with it. Make it work.
Absolutely. We will be happy to get to see you in person. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Have you seen the theater?
Yeah. Last time I was home, I was able to stop by.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Yes, I remember.
Last summer. Yeah. Last June.
Yep. Okay. Well, we will welcome you more often, I hope, when you're there.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go to James Perry and see what's cooking with him. Oh, wait, before you, James, I want to show one more picture of Mike. I was looking at this and I was thinking,
baby,
we could have done better. We really could have done better.
Listen, I look back at these and I'm like, with what I know now.
Right. I'm like, you could find a better wig than that, though. Like, come on.
Listen, but hey, it's growth. You look back at that and you're like, humble beginnings. That's what we.
Right. Right. Our set was modest, and we did what we could do.
Did what we had to do.
Okay, James. Sorry, I detoured for a second. You with us, James?
I think
Forget James. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, your phone just randomly stopped.
James?
Yes.
Gotta cut your video on, bruh.
You, James. All right, well, James, we're gonna come back to you. Let's go to Alexa instead. Alexa, who was her first show that she ever did with us was Rent, and then by next summer she was Aida. So tell us what you've been up to, Alexa.
First of all, hi guys. No, long time no see. Let's see. Major life events. I guess recently. I mean, I'm just in college, state college, Penn State, and living that little college life there.
What year are you going into?
I'm going into my senior year. I took a gap year, so just 1 year behind. I'm just like in college, training and keeping my head down, working and all that good stuff.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. Oh, wow.
You look very young.
Yeah, I do. That's funny. That's crazy. That was such a long time ago. Let me think. Yeah, I've just been like working and stuff like that. Just adapting to like online classes and like dance online classes, which was like really difficult to work around with.
Yeah. We tried. It didn't work.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like all of my classmates, we like found like, a chair or a drawer or a cane if we had to, like to use as our bar for like ballet classes and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, so like, right, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but like,
tell us about school a little bit. Are you like, do you feel like you're growing and growing and growing as a performer?
Yes, indeedy. Yeah, it's hard, but I'm getting it going.
I can't wait to see you perform next. I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to keep going with this whole thing. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. We'll come back to you in a bit. Hi, Shamari.
Hello.
Like the mustache. It's good to see you. We're just kind of checking in with everybody. We'll give you a second to get settled. I'll come back to you in a minute. Can we go to Lynn? And Lynn can tell us what he's up to, which is just like so much, because Lynn is always on the go.
Always.
Hey, hi. After Rent, college, I graduated college, started working, started teaching a lot, performing a lot, which was great. And I did get accepted to USC, which was awesome. That was a major life event. Right, we're going to keep it going because I have like coming up stuff that I think is really cool. So life before COVID, I was actually, look at me, look at the little guy. I was
I know, you look really, the two of you look like so young on the side. I don't even know where you are on the stage. Oh, it's the garage door?
Yeah, definitely right in front of the garage door on the second floor, probably.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
You're cool. Life before COVID, I was just teaching a lot after school programs and things like that. I was working a lot with music, and I was actually starting to make money performing, which was awesome. That was like big, like actually rapping and making money was like, all right, like I'm doing this. Like I would get on the stage and make money. And then COVID happened. So I felt like as soon as I was gaining momentum in my career as a performing artist, COVID happened. But I did get a job the day that everything closed down, which was working at the Urban Academy as a co-teacher. So that was really cool. And I was grateful to have that, especially because, we all went to the Urban Academy. So that's our stuff, right? And all of that, right? But what is coming up, and I'm super excited for it, is I'm going to be a father to a little baby boy. And that makes me very, very happy.
Yay!
So yeah, his name is going to be Indigo.
Beautiful, bro.
Thank you.
Nice.
And I don't really know much more to say about myself. So yeah, that was.
Well, thank you for sharing. Congratulations on your upcoming arrival. And Sarah has messaged us to let us know she's not going to be able to make it tonight, but she recently had a baby. His name is Music. and he's beautiful. And Shamari, why don't we go to you, and you can kind of add on to that conversation as well.
Well, after Rent, I guess I did a little bit of what everybody did, a little bit of college, a little bit of working. Honestly, I've just been going. I've said yes to every opportunity that's been coming my way. I tried to grow and expand in any way, shape, and possible, and I've been working in the kitchen quite a lot, and almost becoming a manager in the business that I work at. But as well as Lynn, I recently discovered that I am too having a baby boy. And
so everybody's having a boy? You're having a boy, he's having a boy, and Cherish had a boy. Okay.
Yeah. And also, my little brother's expecting as well. So.
Wow, that's a lot of babies all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. We were so excited with like this next generation. I mean, are they going to be ATC members? That would be amazing. I mean,
I'm definitely pushing for it.
I am too. That would be so cool. That would be like next generation for sure. Miss Stacy said all these new babies make her feel old. I know exactly what you mean. James, you look like you're back. So can we go to
Yeah, what's going on? Sorry about that, by the way.
It's okay.
Go
ahead.
Am I heard? Am I seen?
Yes.
Cool. Major life events after Rent. I graduated high school 2017. I did not go to college, but 2018, I was given the opportunity from the Advancing Black Arts Corporation to put on my own show. It was the first time that I decided to write scenes and basically like try to write my own screenplay and, incorporate my own music and everything. And it actually turned out really well. It was kind of like a show to lean on having like a soft spot for artists and just making sure that you always check in on them and just making sure that all of your friends are straight and kind of like trying to make sure you care about the art while they're here and taking pride and value in that and holding on to it and making sure that you tell that artist that their art is dope before it's too late and everything. Anything else? Okay, music wise, I've been taking myself more serious as an artist and trying to find my lane as far as like everything I want to do and also expanding, because when I first started making music, it was primarily just rapping, and now I'm finding myself leaning towards other genres, which is cool for me because I kind of like to consider myself a student of all of it. So the more I can learn about that, the better. I got my first apartment last November, I believe, which was cool for me. It was actually a nice breather I could take and taking the next step into being a young adult. Before COVID, I was bouncing around trying to find the job that fits me. Still haven't really figured that out yet. And I guess I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that though. So I've been kind of coming to terms with that. Now I'm just trying to figure out, just be more specific about where I want to like have myself be when stuff opens back up, so that way I'm not lost and stuff. Using this time to gather my thoughts and everything, and working on music for you as well.
That would be me that he's talking about. Thank you.
Yes, Holly Donner.
Appreciate that. And I think you have found a job that suits you, and that is. Yes.
It's
hard to do only that, I know, but if anybody was born for the stage, I would think that we could say that would be James.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for catching us up, James. Did I forget any cast members that are on the call? I can't see everybody at the moment. I think I got everybody, but could we, Miss Stacy, could you give everybody a quick update on you?
Hey, sure, it's so good to see you all. It's like, love you so much. Where do I even begin? So major life events. I don't know if you guys knew it then, but I had a kidney transplant, and it, long story short, collapsed in since sometime last year. So I'm back on the list for another one, and I do dialysis 4 times a day. That's a big life event because it takes up a lot of my life. So there's that, but we're dealing with it on top of all the COVID stuff, and yeah, just like all the changes it's meant health-wise, but also work. We were in the middle of like this thing where we were just soaring. We're doing all this stuff, and we're still doing a lot of stuff. The biggest thing, we had a commission with the ballet, and we were supposed to go into the theater, and we walked into the ballet for rehearsal right the day before going to the theater, and they were like, nope, go home, we're done here. So that premiere got put off until we just found out April of 2021. And the same piece was supposed to go to New York to the Joyce Theater, which is a really big dance theater in New York that, like, you know, would have been a really, and I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So
Tell me for those other things.
I didn't even see Herman back there.
Oh. So anyway, we're just hoping that that people want to be in the theater again for dance at some point in life, and that this isn't some sort of. I know some of it's going to be permanent, but you know, like we're also thinking about like what did we sign up for? You know what I mean? Like our work is so. It's about being together in smaller spaces sometimes and really close to people and live. We didn't really sign up to do virtual work. So what do we do with our lives and our livelihood and our creativity based on that? So we're working through those things. What else can I tell you? Anything new on the horizon? Hopefully coming back and continuing the work. We had been touring. We had gone to Italy. That was the last place we went, and actually back and forth to New York a lot. So we want to continue to travel. The U.S. is trash right now, so that's not going to happen soon. But
Yeah, I know. I feel like everybody felt, I'm sure everybody on this call felt like they were on some type of trajectory that just got cut off. And it's disconcerting, but you know, we're doing what we can. I hear you. The energy of there's, you know, when you're trying to present work digitally, it's the energy. I just don't know how to get the energy through the lens, but we're gonna try and push.
Yeah, I have a hard time like feeling the creativity from my end. You know what I mean? Like, trying to rehearse that way, and we can go to the park and I'm fine, but when we are virtual like this, I'm like, this doesn't translate for me. So, but I have a question for everyone when you're done going through everyone, and that's.
Okay. I have so many questions. This is supposed to end at 8 o'clock and this has already been 35 minutes. Oh, wow. We might have to go over a little bit, or maybe we should just speed it up. Okay. Ms. Bridget, can you just tell everybody a little update on you? And I think you're the last person who's on the call.
Cool. Hey, firstly, it's just so amazing to see all of your beautiful faces. Oh my gosh. It just takes me back because like Rent was my first, like I did like one project with ATC and then it was like doing Rent. And it was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And like, you guys had so much history, but I was like the newbie on this team. And I like my memory is just y'all like being so welcoming and trusting and allowing me to direct you and like lead vocals. And I just remember the moments where we were just like bawling in the theater and just like really, really connecting. But I'm so glad to be here. And so I'm 9 years strong with ATC, with Rent being the first musical. Hi, Siri.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm trying to remember what the questions are. So being with ATC, also working as a teacher at a middle school, at a charter school, has been my life. And then post COVID, it was like ATC went virtual, school distance learning went virtual. My life was Zoom calls incessantly. I think Hallie and I were talking about like having dreams of being in Zoom calls. That was just like way too much. But it's been good. It's been a good summer. I get to see Shay all of the time, and ATC is strong. It's different, but you guys were like truly the founding, like y'all are the OGs, and it's just so wonderful to see you all and how reflect on how instrumental each of you were and how impactful you were for making ATC the company that it is now. I'm just so appreciative to continue to be on this journey with y'all.
Thank you, Miss Bridget. Let's hear from Cyree. Cyree, we're going to jump right in with you because we heard from everybody else. Just give us a little update on what's going on with you.
So I mean, I'm officially back for a year. It'll be a year next month from South Carolina. I don't know. I've just been working. So after graduating, I kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say regretted my degree, but I wish I would have thought it out a little bit more.
What was your degree? It was hospitality?
Yeah, hospitality management. So I loved it. You know, I loved the path that it took me on, and it got, you know, me some great connections and everything. So right now, I've almost a year into recruiting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that picture.
Those pants were the best part of it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I actually still have those pants, but they're like all silver now because like all of the blue has come off of them.
I love that. I love thinking about you just wearing those pants.
And it's so wild now to think that you know, it's so long ago, like almost 10 years now. But yeah, so I mean, I've been, so the job that I've had now for the year is recruiting. I work for a company called Aerotech, but I also just accepted another job, a part-time leasing agent, because I want to be a real estate agent. So that's what I'm pursuing here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm not really doing too much other than like working from home right now. It is driving me insane, but I'm like running around like craziness. So I'm so sorry that I was so late, but yeah, I mean, I'm over in Bellevue, you know, like this job has given me like a lot of great opportunities and a lot of networking. So that's just kind of what I'm pursuing right now, just figuring out what I want to do in my life. I don't know. Yeah.
When was the last time you performed?
Oh geez. Well, I joined a club, like a musical theater club in college, and so the last time I performed was my senior year. But we did, I can't even remember the musical name. But yeah, we did a couple of different things, mainly like cabarets, like we were doing. So like we would, you know, all audition for like songs and like have different things like that. So it was mainly, you know, mainly cabarets. But I did keep performing throughout college, but not anything to the scale of ATC. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I kept up with it. I would love to keep up with it even now, but I haven't really found my way back into the Pittsburgh life with being, you know, graduating in 2018 and then moving strictly after graduating. I haven't really found my way back into the Pittsburgh life just yet, but I would love to. I mean, it's my dream. I would love to continue to perform. So definitely would love to, you know, make some connections and everything and start that up again.
Great. Heard it here first. She's ready to audition.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you. I think Charlize just joined the call. Charlize, are you here? You want to say hi? Did she leave? She left and didn't like the looks of it, or what happened? Okay, maybe she'll come back. Did anyone else see Charlize, or did I imagine it? Okay, Shay's nodding his head. Thank you. Okay, well, that we finally got to hear from each person. That took longer than I thought, and I don't know why I didn't anticipate it took a long time to be updated 8 years later. All right, so I want to ask you guys, I have a lot of questions. Let's start with just reflections on Rent, and here's she's coming How did it change you? Thinking about being a part of that cast and the performance of it, how did it change you? And we won't hear from everybody, but let me signal to me if you want to answer, just go ahead. And these lags, like when we're doing on Facebook Live, when you ask a question and there's like all this pausing, people start to leave. So jump in, everybody. Who wants to do it? Reflections on Rent. How did it change you? Go ahead.
I can start. I guess I'll just like for Rent being like the first show I've done like outside of Kappa, I definitely would say like ATC started that journey of, you know, getting me out of my shell and all that good stuff. So it, you know, had a landmark to my likings of theater.
Good. I hope that you will tell everybody that story when you're, you know, famous.
I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You all know what you have to do. Hi, Charlize. We can actually see you. That's good. Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi. It feels so good to see you guys. I was watching it and I wasn't gonna join because I just got off of work. But I was like, I might as well. Like, I might as well.
Where do you work, Charlize? Tell everybody where you work.
Yeah. So I work at this place called Alumni Theater Company. Yeah, I'm actually the fellow, the arts management fellow for ATC now, and I'm also the stage manager. So there's that. Woo.
It's like so cool how like you all grew up and now like you run ATC. It's awesome. It's actually really a beautiful thing. So somebody else, how did Rent change you?
I'll go. For me personally, I feel like being in Rent and the show and the narrative of the show really just taught me about a lot of just concepts and ideologies that are applicable to today, and like especially about like a lot of marginalized identities about being Black and the LGBTQIA community, and all these concepts that seemed back then so taboo, but they're so prevalent and so prominent to today, and being able to, you know, I guess it was my introduction to those type of conversations, and not being afraid to have those dialogues and be, you know, those type of spaces. So I think that's what the show really introduced me to, and it really helped me with. So I think that was.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's a really good point, is that prior to Rent, we were doing shows that were original, which is its own type of amazing experience, but tackling a piece like Rent, which has all of these really complex and adult themes, it was really an introduction to us really talking about things, you know, that we hadn't talked about before. Thanks. Anyone else want to answer that before we move on?
I feel the same way about that, that it changed my opinions about certain things, and it also gave me new insight to things that I didn't even know, certain themes. But now I feel like the messages of the show just permeate in my life now, you know, measure your life in love, you know. I feel like that was just a projection of who I already was, but I just was on the journey to, you know, finding myself in who I am to other people and what I can produce. So it's just like, I've watched that show, probably just the Broadway show, like over 100 times, and it still makes me cry to this day, because it's just like, it's so relevant then and now. And it's just like, I feel like it always will be. And those messages are really for everyone to hear. So, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely was the summer of crying when we did that. There was, I mean, I just remember what I would look like at the end of a run through. I'd be like, eyes puffy. It was horrible. I mean, It was great, but it was a lot of crying. So leading into what Tyler just said and what Brandon is saying, I think really kind of leads into the next question. I mean, when we did Rent, we just, I mean, you all, Shay said we rehearsed every day. Did we?
Felt like it.
It felt like it.
It was a Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 thing. I remember this.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah. Wow, I don't remember that.
Honestly, felt like a 9 to 5.
And I feel like that's not what we do now. Now we rehearse in the evenings and on Saturday. We don't do that all day, every day.
Miss Donna, we called that
we
boot
were
camp
so
back
into
then.
it.
That was boot camp for sure.
We definitely, but thinking about it, it felt like we really went through that show. You all were so deep in those characters and the messages, and we got so much out of it. And thinking about the message "No Day But Today," I think we use that message mostly for like, Shamara, you're making a lot of noise.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We really use that message as motivation for us to like really just push ourselves to perform like we never have before, like no day but today. Like this is the time for us to step forward and really show what we can do. Thinking about that particular message in Rent, what do you feel like people can get out of that today? Cool. No day but today.
I would like to start with that. I think looking at life right now, like being in the middle of a pandemic, like how you asked us earlier, what was going on before, like you think and you plan ahead for these moments that you're like, this is what I'm looking forward to, this is what I have going on, and you see so easily it could just stop. And how this has all taught us like to just look at what in our lives really matters, what is important to us, who's important to us, how do I want to present myself to the world. You're only given this moment, you're only given these set hours, and even in the day, you're not guaranteed all the hours of the day. So it's like, you just have to take what you have in this moment, look back at what you can be grateful for in every day, and take that. Things may seem in the moment like, hey, I don't got this, I don't got that, but take the time to reflect and be like, but I have this moment. Somebody else that I know and love may not have this moment right now. I may have seen them yesterday, but they don't have this moment right now. Or this other person isn't promised this moment right now, but I know that here I'm promised it. So I'm gonna make the best of it. I think that's how we could take that no day but today. It's just, I have this and I'm grateful.
Agreed. I've been spending a lot of time being actively grateful for sure. Charlize, are you trying to speak?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I like totally agree with what Michael said, because I felt that wholeheartedly. But also I like, when it first started, something I just thought about, at least for the first month, is like, what are the things that I regretted not doing in the past year that I kept putting off, or like kept saying I'm going to get to, when I know I could have did it at that moment or a month ago, but I just didn't because I felt like I had more time, which time, it's too much. And that gave me a lot of perspective about the things that if I get another day, what do I actually want to do with it? Do I want to continue to procrastinate on things? Do I want to continue trying to trace a dream that doesn't, that's not impossible. It is always possible. But like, what am I doing today to make sure that dream will happen for me tomorrow? That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hear that for sure.
Can I add on to that?
Please.
That was great. And that's exactly, I think like as like young adult professionals, like, we're all kind of trying to find our way into like the world. And I know like for me personally, like I've struggled, and I know, there are other young professionals that are definitely struggling with kind of finding their way in the world. And no day but today, it's just kind of like, okay, like you're here in the moment, like this is all that we have to offer. This is what the world has to offer right here, right? So what are you going to do with it now? How are you going to take hold of this? How are you going to take control? And I think that's, to add on to Charlize and to add on to Michael, those are the things like nowadays, like especially with the climate that we're in, we all see, we're all on social media, we're all going to vote, come November. Like this is something that we didn't have to worry about when we were doing Rent, 8 years ago. We weren't really aware then, and now we're all 100% completely aware. And so no day but today, I think just really encompasses like everything that we need to be aware of in that moment. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. It's all about right now. What are you going to do about your time here currently, like right now? I think like it's just such a mantra to live by. Like, you know, put it on a sticky note, put it on that mirror that you're looking at every single day, and keep it there, because this is it. You know, time just keeps going, and we're all watching it go by. Like, I can't believe it's 8 years. Like, it's just wild. So it just keeps going by. So just, you know, keep living as if like you're not going to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite parts of the show when we did it, was when you kept repeating that line, "No day but today, Sairi," to Shamari, and the whole cast was out, and it was just like,
right.
Yeah, I know.
Here.
It was just like making him like, you have to hear this message. It was really a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
So I want to tell our Facebook viewers that please, if you want to make comments or ask questions, to put them in the comments and we'll relay them to the cast. Bridget, has anybody asked a question?
Not yet, but there's been a lot of love in the live room.
A lot of love. So you guys should go back and read that later, but there's no questions per se.
No questions, but now is the time.
I'm going to tell you what my next question is and give you a moment to let it marinate for a second. And Miss Stacy said she had a question for you. So what I want you to be thinking of is your favorite ATC moment, on or off stage. Doesn't have to be Rent, but we want to hear some stories.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Can I go first?
Yeah, but hold on a second though. Miss Stacy, do you want to ask the question you were going to ask, or do you feel like you want to wait? You're on mute. We can't hear you. Don't you got to work Zoom?
I know. I should know. I'm just putting it in the chat for maybe later. I think it should be like a later question.
Okay, she wants to close the show. I hear it. All right, Miss Bridget, you have your favorite moment?
Yeah, I think really my favorite moment is ATC. And I'm already like crying over here, y'all. I apologize, but just like when I say like my favorite moment is ATC, like my favorite moment is just like a space for just to be young, Black, and gifted, and like, you know, there's so many different opportunities, and I'm sure you all know in your lives as you've gone and done theater in different places, there isn't any place like ATC where it's just a safe space for Black students to come and speak their mind and just be home and just share, you know, and just put our own spin on everything. Like Rent is a cast, but then when the group of you all come together, it's a special moment. And I think just like my favorite, like I said, my favorite HTC moment is just literally anytime I can just be in a space with like-minded people that are world changers. And I just love y'all. That's just what I want to say.
Thank you. That was nice. Yeah, I do love how like when we do these summer musicals, like we don't have, you know, we're not changing any words or any songs, but it's just like a different type of, it's just a different production, which is very cool. Lynn is raising his hand. Let's hear it.
I have a favorite moment. It sounds very chaotic, but no. All right, so the favorite moments, and there's Charlize's high kick. The high kick to land on her butt every time. But the reason why they're my favorite, Charlize, is because you put so much effort in it that you can't catch yourself like at the end of it. And I just love it. And I love how you get back up every time. You try it all the time. I love it.
I have something to say. Okay, first of all, it happened once, maybe twice.
Okay.
And
Look, can we tell our audience what it is we're discussing?
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was the opening number of a show. I feel like it was a face-off. He had this really high kick that she really went for it and ended up like she jumped with it, which she didn't normally do, and just didn't land. And she just
momentum just took her body up with her leg and just came back.
Literally, I was gonna say that though, because I just remember the adrenaline and like I remember doing the kick. I remember landing wrong and I just had to keep going. But I remember going off stage and people were like, "Are you fine?" I'm like, "I'm okay." And then after the show, my side hurt so bad. But Also, back then, I used to break my arm like every other day. Like, do y'all remember when I had 2 different casts? So,
Yeah. Oh my God. Ripped.
It's so funny that we remember things like that. Like something, like that was a good memory, Lynn.
any fall.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It
Gotcha. That was a good
seems
one.
like we lost James off of the call. He left. But while we're talking about falls, which I knew that people would be bringing up falls when I said favorite moment, we just have to, I think it was ATC versus the World. I don't know what show it was, but he fell in that opening number and rolled like a ball and knocked Brandon over.
I remember
that video out for sure.
I've never seen
I think
someone fall like
James
that.
was honestly the king of falling on stage, though, because snapbacks and tattoos, he went a little too hard into that bed and fell back hard as hell.
I didn't remember that, but you, Shamara, you didn't fall, but remember when you ran up
the steps? We have that's the recorded version of Brit that we have of him running up the steps and tripping up the steps.
And my voice cracked as well.
It was great.
Great days.
That was funny.
Can I go next?
Yes, Michael.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have 3 favorite moments.
Oh.
There we go quick. Okay, so first is doing Rain for the first time, like that whole creative process. That was just so dope because I remember I had coming late to the process and like y'all had already been in the studio, and then I just remember watching Devon and Robert, and I'm like, these dudes are geniuses, like this is crazy. And then like seeing it all come to fruition and be like, we did that, we did a whole musical. Bananas. Second one was Hair. Oh, that show was so much fun. That's probably one of my favorite like theatrical experiences thus far. I can't remember what part, but I remember there was a part where I would look at Lynn and we would literally, like we were dying at some part. It was something about the buffaloes, something. I remember dying on stage for like a good 5 minutes. It was just so much fun. That was second favorite. And my third favorite is we performed for okay, it's a tie. This is specific performances is Check the Rhyme for like the MLK spoken word something at the Kelly Strayhorn. I like go back to that video on YouTube and just watch it. That's like one of my favorite pieces. And we performed Move the Party at New Year's at Kappa, and that performance was so much fun. So those are all my top favorite ATC moments.
Yeah, we did Check the Rhyme a whole lot of times.
Love that dance. Every time that song comes on, I just hit like.
Yeah, every time I see a song, I just do like a big sigh, like this song.
Right.
Like, who still knows choreography?
Let's do it.
Okay, who's next?
I have a moment. So this, I don't know if this was my favorite moment, but this is a moment that to me was a very powerful moment for me on stage. And it was when me and Cyree did Say Something for her senior project. That moment was I think that was a very powerful and emotional moment for both of us. And we were both so vulnerable on stage in that moment. And like, it just felt good to be able to let it out on stage. Yeah.
I agree, Shay. I remember like looking over at you and just remembering like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is our project, like we're doing this together, and just crying. I remember that. And that was, because that was like one of like the most beautiful songs that had come out at that time. And we were just so in love and like so into it. And
I remember awkwardly being between the two of you with my guitar, just looking at you guys like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on.
The connection is too
Thank you, Sam, for playing the guitar and letting Shay and I have our
moments.
Someone else also mentioned, Shamari, when you tripped up the stairs. I think it was Ren.
Yeah,
it
was hard to hear.
That was horrible.
Yep.
I might go watch the show now, like the recorded one of running up the steps.
But guys, I have to go. I have a prior engagement I need to go to, but I will hopefully see you guys again sometime soon. But yeah, bye guys.
Bye, Shay.
Bye, Shay.
See you, Shay.
Bye, Shay.
Anyone else have a favorite moment that they can share?
Who pick me?
Tyler, then Brandon.
All right, so I have a few as well. Also, with Shamari singing "Let It Be" was definitely one of my favorite moments. And next to that, Hair was also still a great experience. Also, breaking my knee during Hair was also great. Uh, not really breaking my knee. They just said I had what do you call that? I don't even know how to say it. Elliptical band syndrome. So I had to do physical therapy for a good while for that. But that was still my favorite show. That was my favorite role, I believe. Yeah. And for Color Girls. For Color Girls will forever, ever be one of the greatest experiences, especially my monologue, man. That was just like deepest, like, and one of the growing moments that I had. So definitely.
Yeah, you guys just really killed that show. It was
Definitely.
It was beautiful.
There's an audience question, and that is, what choreographed scene, song, or monologue sticks in your head when it comes on, or when you think about it, you're like, oh, I know every move, or I remember every line.
Good one.
I mean, I work in a restaurant and it plays the same music every single day. So when Who Runs the World comes on by Beyonce, you best believe I'm in the corner dancing.
Michael, you had one?
I was just gonna say Check the Rhyme and Tambourine. I think that whole like first hip hop dance sequence at the beginning. Anytime that comes on, I remember the sequence and I just go into it and I'm like, I try and do it so subtly because I'm like, people are like, what are you doing? But
you like try to catch the beat.
Listen, I be in my head. That's my face. So that one for sure.
Go ahead, Charlie.
My favorite is, and I can't believe no one brought it up, but 96,000. Like, we did that song a few times. We did that every time we could. I mean, at least I remember. It was like, I don't know how many times we did it, but we would rehearse it a whole bunch of times. That would be our warm-up song half the time. It was, so whenever that plays, I just think back to being at Urban League. And then also Let the Sun Shine from Hair, because that was emotional. Or Where Do I Go?
Ooh.
Those were tears.
Yeah.
It's the first time I would like cry on stage.
Real ugly tears.
Yeah.
Real ugly.
Brandon, you want to share your favorite ATC moment?
Yeah, so I'll start off with a funny moment that was like really funny. I think most of the people that are on this call were there when it happened. So for when we did The Wiz, I don't think Solomon's not on here, but when Solomon had on his suit, he like tripped down the stairs.
Yes.
And he, because I just remember like on stage, like we're getting mic'd up, he just like fell down the stairs and just like big, like his costume, like a big, like it had like a trash can.
Yeah.
But some of my favorite like moments, of course, Rent is like something that I always like cherish and I would like just think about all the time. Rain definitely was so. I think that was really the moment where we embraced like originality and just started doing like all like original works while intertwining just other works as well. And I would also say the last one. I think doing Aida was like really good too. So
yeah, Aida was beautiful. It was a really different from every other show we did, and I'm really glad we did it. It was beautiful. Stacy, were you trying to share a moment?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One is that in Rent, what is the name of that song that we do at the table?
La Vie Bohème. Yeah.
I felt like that was like a pivotal moment for ATC and dance. I don't know why, but for some reason it felt like we kind of jumped a level up in our dance performance quality. I felt like everyone was like getting it in a way that they never got it before. And from that point on, it was like y'all were dancers. And it was amazing for me and why I cried every single day that we were in the studio. And then the other thing that I remember, and I think some of you were gone by this time, but my mother-in-law also loved this, and it's Lift Every Voice and Sing. When ATC sings that, I would just be in the floor on my back the whole time. And it just moved me to, I've never heard it like that ever, anywhere. Kudos to you, Bridget. I know that was your arrangement. It's just divine, literally. And she really wanted someone to sing it at her. You guys to sing it at her.
Can I tell them?
Yeah.
So when my mom was dying, she told me that she wanted you guys to sing it at her funeral, and I just didn't have the heart to go through with it because I was just like, it's gonna be too much, so we didn't do it. And I didn't ask, so
it would have been hard to put
it would have been, yeah, it would have been, and also I think also honestly it would have been emotionally too wretched, too rough.
It was,
yeah.
But I have a million other memories. I'm going to stop there right now because so many. I mean, I can just go on and on. Seriously, no joke.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Alexa, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I was raising my hand. I also want to piggyback on Miss Stacy. I was literally going to reel it back to Rentland because literally La Viva was popping. Like even like the rehearsal process of like trying to figure out how we can like, be ATC, still adapt to like the originality of it. Like I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. It was fun.
Does anybody else remember how fun rehearsals at the new Hazlitt Theater in the upstairs rehearsal space was? That used to just hit completely different. We would get so much work done. We'd have so much stuff going.
It was so hot though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very hot up.
Yeah.
I missed the Kelly Strayhorn. I loved shows at the Kelly Strayhorn.
I missed the.
Yeah, Brandon?
This just came to my mind about, we were talking about choreography. Just two pieces just came to mind that are just like, I think like significant to the ATC. Was I'm a Bee was very like all the time. And like every time I hear that song, it's just like, okay, like and like I'm just a kid and something like that was just like
I'm just a kid.
Oh my God.
Okay, a slapper.
You know what? I was gonna mention how no one said Bad Seeds, and
Bad Seeds
like Bad Seeds was a trilogy for us. There was two, but Bad Seeds was our thing for a while.
Yeah. You just brought back a memory from Bad Seeds. Shakira's Juliet monologue.
Yes.
I occasionally say the line, like the yonder window breaks. So that's when I break through the window and I ready to fall to my mind. 'Cause I'm like, that monologue.
That hip hop mix up that was like every song. It was like a jerk. Run the World. There was like 12 different songs. It was Missy. It was like everything. Like I wish I had learned that. Like every time part of those songs come on, I'm like, wait, how do you? I don't know how to do it. But,
Girl, you ain't want to learn that. No.
I have one more thing.
Throw us to the ground.
I got kicked out of half of those dances anyway.
You're here with us now.
it's because you weren't focused, Shamari.
You could have done it.
Can I show this picture from it's Alexa and I? I know. It actually popped up on my story like a couple of days ago. Can you see it?
Which show is it? American Idiot.
This is American Idiot, yeah.
All of my Facebook memories now are like your show.
So young. This is 2016.
2016.
Dude, you're so young.
I just like to add one more memory. I think my most sentimental ATC memory, aside from like the last moment of Rent, was singing A Little More Homework to Do at the end of my year's senior showcase. Oh God, like just the words in that song. I was listening to that song a few days ago. I was cleaning up and I was in tears. Like, I'm like, this is such a beautiful song and it means so much. So like, I apply that to my life. And I always think back to that moment and it just, Makes me feel
Surprised nobody said cool like that. That's interesting.
Cool like that.
because
That's
there's so many things. We did so much. Like we have done a lot. Like it just before like seeing where ATC is now and thinking about just like again, the idea was just like we did the Wiz in 2008. And we're like, yo, we're enjoying this. We don't want to go. And just being like, well, let's just meet at the school and we'll think. And then just like I remember our first performance was in like some cafe on Penn Avenue. We just did like some pieces, we, you know, put together. And then we were like, okay, we'll go to Kelly Strayhorn, do some stuff. And it's just like we've done so much work. Like looking back, like just before Rent, like so much work was done. And then to see where ATC is now, it's just it's so amazing. It's just like
I mean, and it's you guys who made it what it is, to be honest with you. When we were in residence at the Kelly Strayhorn and they put us on the books for 6 shows a year for the 2 years that we were there. And there were 12 of you, and then there were 16 the next year. And that was it. You all had to be in all of those shows. It was like, we're doing the next one and there's no, I can't do this one.
Yeah.
Like you have to do it because we have to do it.
Yeah.
So you guys really worked and you shaped it. You made ATC what it is now. I mean, honestly, like for me, we just started ATC because like I love theater and I loved you. So it was like, yeah, let's do this. But then you guys made it what it is, you know, all of the original work that you brought to the table was not my idea. That was your idea. So, I mean, we owe it all really to this group and to to the other founding members who aren't here tonight. So thank you.
I wish Brandon Adams was here right now, like,
because
he went to pick Greensburg together, so we reminisce all the time about the Wiz, and just I was like, man, why'd you leave, bruh? Like, you know, he tried to deny the whole time, you know, and now he's like a microbiologist or something, or he's into like engineering or something, but he studied biology like and chemistry and stuff. And then he tried to deny forever that he was like a musical theater baby. And I was like, Brandon sings, y'all, and he did. So stop playing. Yeah.
He was in all the Urban League shows.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, we need to wrap it up because it's been an hour and 15 minutes and I don't know if anybody's still watching. I guess it doesn't really matter.
We got some ATC for lifers up in this. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. But they're probably like, I'm kind of hungry. So is this going to end soon? But I wanted to ask if you guys have any words of advice to the current ATC members that you could pass on. That would be lovely.
Can I add on?
Mm-hmm.
I would say follow the passion, follow it. As somebody who kind of gave up or didn't really have as much security in my artistic ability, I definitely regret it, you know, later on in life. As I mentioned, you know, earlier that I'm looking, you know, I would love to get started again and singing. I miss singing and performing every single day. I do it, you know, 1,000 times a day I'm singing. So definitely, you know, like if you know that this is your passion and this is what you love to do, hold on to it. Don't let it go. Even if you go get like another job, you do whatever, you know, maybe as you get older, stick with it, keep your connections and keep going and do not doubt yourself at all. This is 100% your passion. Doesn't matter if you think like, oh, this person doesn't like me, this, you know, whatever, like, you know, they're not going to like the way that I sing. They don't like the way that I dance, like whatever. Somebody's always going to love it. And the main person who loves it, who matters that loves it is you. So stick with your passion, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I add on to that?
Yes. Who said that?
Charlize. Hey, y'all. Also, even Sari, I love the fact that you said that, because even if you are still in it, still continue to follow your passion and what your heart says about it, because whether you did it 5 years ago and you stopped, or whether you're still doing it and you just feel like you're at a standstill, especially now, your heart will tell you what you're supposed to do. Your head, people will get into your head, in and out, in and out. People will tell you what to do. People will tell you what they think you're supposed to do, all this stuff. But Sari is completely right. Like where your passion is, where your heart is, what your heart is telling you to do about it, and that's always right. And you'll always find your way back to it either way. It'll call you back somehow if it's truly for you. So yeah.
I can absolutely speak to that, you know, coming back to, you know, the theater life. I started my freshman year as a biology major, and that was the complete wrong choice. And everybody told me before I went into it, they were like, why? Why would you do this? No, you need to sing. And I was like, I want to try something different. I don't know. And then not even halfway through the first semester, I just like that. I was like, no, I got to go back to what I love to do. And I guess my little piece of advice would be to never be afraid to go out of your comfort zone, for sure. And I was the shy one, like, and I was also the baby of the original group. So I had a lot of growing to do and a lot of watching a lot of you know, Michael and Shakira and Sierra and all of you guys that came before me, Brandon even, and Shay, you know, just watching you guys inspired me to, you know, kind of step out of my comfort zone. And that was something that I had never done before. And I had to do it in, you know, several instances. Even going to Kappa took me out of my comfort zone quite a bit. So never ever be afraid to do that.
Thank you, Tyler.
Can I add?
Yes.
Seconding everything that everybody has said before me. Those are all great things to apply and keep in mind. I'd like to add to always be kind to yourself, because as you grow and as you get older and push into your life, you're going to find, like, you know, you feel like you're not in the right place, you're not doing enough, or you're things just may be wrong and you may be hard on yourself, but always treat yourself with kindness, because, you know, the self-love will push to the outward and push towards the thing, push into your work, push into your community, and push into the world around you. So if you start inside with loving yourself and treating yourself with kindness and respect, that'll permeate through everything that you do. Also with that, leaning in on your community, because you may find like you feel isolated in times where you're like, where things feel dark and you don't know what's next and how you're going to get out. Know that you have people around you, because as you're growing up and you're doing shows with your castmates and your friends and people you love, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, these are just my friends, and, you know, we have a good time. But these people care about you. You have people that truly love you and are there for you. So don't be afraid to lean in on them when you are having hard times, or if you have ideas, because these are people who are in the same boat as you, who can build with you, and you can create wonderful opportunities and create new opportunities for the people that are coming up behind you. So just, yeah. And remember, try your best to always be in the moment. Like we were saying earlier about no day but today. All you have is today. And with that, you don't worry about what's coming next. You don't dwell in the past of where you came from. You look at where you're at, assess what's going on, what you can be thankful for in the moment, and use that fuel to keep you going. So that's what I'd like to add.
Beautiful. Alexa.
I would like to say, I guess comparison is a killer of joy. So try just not to get caught up in comparing yourself with other people. It just distracts you from self-progress. And don't forget to ask questions, like always ask questions. Quickest way to learn, just as fast as reading. So ask questions.
Thank you. Anyone else? Brandon?
Just to add like to what everyone's been saying, basically stay coachable, like stay teachable. Even when you're right, you're always wrong. Just, you know, so even if you have to, I remember like all the times when we do performances or dances and vocals, and we feel like it was like the best we can do it, but there's always something we could have improved on. So it just keeps you motivated, eager to learn. So always remain teachable in that, even when you're right, you're wrong. So
cool. Thank you for that advice. Yes, Stacy.
I just want to say, do not underestimate. You guys are so smart and so wise and so thoughtful, and it's really warms my heart to hear you as grown people like say these things. So I want to thank you for that, and never underestimate how you affect other people's lives. Everything you say and do, especially when you're so thoughtful, people are moved by it. So keep that in mind as you move through the world, and thank you.
Yeah. And then just my advice is these beautiful 20-something-year-olds, just like continue to go for it. I know your 20s is like a place where it's so easy to feel like on top of the world one day and then super confused the next day, and then you're going for it and just like all of the emotions at any given time. And like just embrace that. That is your 20s. Like that is what life is. But like you guys are such incredible people, and whatever you set your heart out to do, you will succeed. And just know that ATC is always a community that is here for you to support you however we absolutely can. But just like do and go for whatever your heart desires. And it's okay if you feel sometimes lost or alone. Like sometimes that's how you know that you're on the right path, because it is unclear and it is shaky. But I'm just so proud of the young women and men that are before me, and y'all are world changers. I love y'all so much.
This is an impressive crew. Any last words from anybody?
I figured out my favorite Rent memory. It was actually as Mike was talking. Like you as Angel is just
yes.
Like it's just and I still like sometimes like when I listen to like like my songs, like my playlist and everything, anytime that Angel ever comes on, I never think about like the actor or like the people that it is Mike that pops in my head. It is Mike who just embodies Angel. There we go. Just embodies like it was and as a young, like I was 15, so 9 years ago, and I was just watching like this masterpiece. And Mike was just like one of those, he was one of those that I was watching and envisioning, just like, so that I just wanted to share my moment there. Like, I just remember crying so much, mainly because of Michael and just how much he embodied Angel.
Sorry,
It's just so nice to see everyone. I'm just really loving this conversation right now.
Yes, this is really nice, and we could do this sometime, and the whole world doesn't have to watch us either.
Hopefully when this COVID is over, we could do like an actual reunion barbecue type thing.
All right.
Party at my house. Party here.
I'm fine cooking. I'll cook.
Or
actually try to bring a grill.
Listen,
try to perform.
I'm ready.
Brandon wants to do a show.
I got the Neville skills.
I don't mind singing a little
bit. Bring the grill. Bring the drinks. Bring the food. Everyone, party outside.
What are you gonna do, Cyree?
It's I'm providing the house.
Okay.
Accommodation. I'll bring some food and stuff. But yeah. Honestly, that would be so nice.
It would be. I can't wait till those days. But this was pretty good. It was really nice to see everybody for sure. So look out for a big year for ATC this year. We're taking it, to a national digital platform. Support us out there, you guys. When you see we're doing something, tell everybody, because we have a lot to offer. We do that better than anyone.
We're finally carrying on the ATC bloodlines.
Yes.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I know. That's probably the craziest thing that we heard, is that there's actual children from these children. But it was great catching up with you guys. ATC for life. Tamara, you want to take us out? You know how? Oh yeah, you call. Horrible. All right, we love you guys so much. much. Thank you for spending some time with us, and reach out anytime. You know where to find us. Love you guys.
Love you
Bye.
guys.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Peace.